Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to a new cycle on global television coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agmofwegbe, reminding our viewers that we are on DSTV channel 365 and on Star Times channel 276. At least 23 persons have been confirmed dead and more than 100 others injured following multiple explosions that rocked Maiduguri, Borno State capital. Authorities say the blast, suspected to be coordinated seaside attacks, targeted crowded locations within the city. Security correspondent Kekaloma Okere has details.
The explosion occurred at about 7:24 p.m. Monday evening at major public locations, including Maiduguri Monday Market, the gate of University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, and Post Office flyover. Eyewitnesses says the blast caused panic as residents and traders ran for safety while emergency responders rushed to the scene. The Borno State Police Command confirmed that 23 people lost their lives while 108 others sustained varying degrees of injuries. Police spokesperson Nahum Kenneth Dasso says preliminary investigation indicates that the explosions were carried out by suspected suicide bomber using improvised explosive device. Security agencies, including police tactical team and military personnel, were immediately deployed to secure the affected area and prevent further attacks. The Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit also conducted sweep operation to ensure no additional explosive devices were left behind. While emergency response team from the National Emergency Management Agency and the Borno State Emergency Management Agency have evacuated victims to hospitals where they are receiving treatment. Authorities says investigations are ongoing as securities have been intensified across Maiduguri. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
President Bola Tinubu has directed Nigeria's security chiefs to relocate to Maiduguri, capital of Borno State, to take charge of the security situation following recent terrorist attacks in the area. In a statement issued in Abuja, the president, who describes the latest developments in the northeast city as deeply troubling, expressed his condolences to families of those who lost their lives, sympathized with the injured, and assured residents of the state of the federal government supports during the difficult period. Tinubu vowed that his administration would intensify efforts to confront criminal groups operating across Nigeria. In a related development, the Nigerian army has raised alarm over possible deployment of multiple suicide bombers into Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State, by suspected Boko Haram terrorists. In a statement issued today, the Media Information Officer, Northeast Joint Task Force Operation Hadin K, Lieutenant Colonel Sani Uba, said the attacks targeted crowded public areas in an attempt by terrorists to inflict mass casualties and create panic within the metropolis. The alarm follows a suicide bombing incident that occurred on Monday evening, where 23 people lost their lives and 108 sustained injuries. Let's turn to Kwara State now, where the command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has deployed 2,350 operatives across the state to ensure a safe and peaceful Eid al-Fitr celebration. In a statement issued by the command's public relations officer, Ayola Shola, and made available online in Ilorin, the state capital, detailing the Corps' operational strategy for the festive period. The state commandant of the force, Bala Bodinga, approved the deployment as part of proactive measures to protect critical national assets, prevent crime, and safeguard residents before, during, and after these celebrations. The Nigerian Railway Corporation has confirmed that 26 passengers and crew members sustained varying degrees of injuries following a train incident along the Abuja-Kaduna Rail Corridor. In a statement via his X-handle, Managing Director of the corporation, Kayode Opefa, said the incident occurred at about 9:16 a.m. near Asham Station, where a loud bang was heard as part of the train formation collided. Wayfair said the Kaduna-Abuja service departed Rigasa station at 17:15 a.m., arriving Jere station 1 minute ahead of scheduled time at 8:52 a.m. The trial of embattled Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari continued at the Federal High Court in Abuja, with dramatic revelations emerging from a video played in open court. Global Television's Ubong Usoro now reports.
Two convicted drug traffickers told the court how they allegedly received assistance from the officers of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agencies to bypass security checks at the Akanu Ibiam International Airport in Enugu. The video, admitted as evidence, showed the traffickers Chibunna Umeibe and Emeka Eweze narrating how their photographs were sent ahead of contacts believed to be NDLEA officials to ease their passage through the airport. They claimed that although their luggage was checked, it was not thoroughly searched. The traffickers, who have already served their jail terms, admitted to importing cocaine into Nigeria from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and delivering the drugs to contacts in Lagos.
Today the court sat. We tendered the recorded evidence, the document from the police regarding the interview that was conducted by the police after the arrest of the already convicted defendants. That is the 6th and 7th defendant already convicted. So we tendered their CD today for possible cross-examination.
Speaking to journalists after the proceedings, counsel to the NDLEA maintained that the prosecution remains confident in its case and will continue to present evidence before the court. Also speaking, Secretary of the Center for Democracy and Development said the case highlights the urgent need for transparency and accountability within Nigeria's security agencies.
We want to thank His Lordship for agreeing to a very vital evidence that was admitted, His Lordship has agreed to be admitted, of the drug traffickers that the IRT had arrested themselves at the car park after they had confessed on tape that they were the ones conniving with the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, and that this was the 4th time that they were coming into Nigeria smuggling drugs. It was the IRT led by Abba Kyari that arrested these criminals at the car park of the airport after they had exited the lounge.
Justice Emeka Nwite has adjourned the case to April 20th and 21st for continuation of trial. The cocaine case is separate from an earlier assets declaration trial in which Abba Kyari was discharged earlier this month. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News.
Human rights activist and former presidential candidate Omoyele Sowore has again appeared before the Federal High Court in Abuja over a case instituted by the Department of State Services, DSS. Again, Ubong Usoro was at the court hearing and now files this report.
Omoyele Sowore is facing trial over statements he made concerning President Bola Tinubu, described the prosecution as baseless and politically motivated. Speaking after proceedings, Sowore accused the DSS legal team of attempting to intimidate him through what he termed unnecessary applications, including moves to revoke his bail and seize his personal devices.
It's a waste of our time. And I also let you know that we have very serious political business. I'm going to be running in the next election, and we need time to go around the country to monitor our own internal party affairs. And although we agreed, he was under a lot of pressure. But like I have always said, I need judges in this court, and some I have disagreements. I have respect for.
Meanwhile, Showere's counsel, Marshal Abubakar, expressed confidence in the judicial process, noting that the prosecution case had weakened significantly following the cross-examination of its sole witness. He described the testimony presented in court as inconsistent and lacking credibility, adding that the defense remains optimistic about the outcome of the case.
Happily, the prosecution has closed its case.
In a related development, the National Publicity Secretary of the African Democratic Congress, Rex Elano, has criticized the ongoing trial, describing it as a distraction. He stated that Sowore, who serves as the party's national chairman, should be allowed to focus on his political ambitions and contribution to democratic development. The court adjourned the proceedings briefly before reconvening later in the day, during which the prosecution formally closed its case after presenting only one witness. Proceedings have now been adjourned to April 13, 2026 for continuation of the trial. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News.
The trial of former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, has continued at the Federal High Court in Abuja with fresh revelations from prosecution witnesses. Malami, alongside his wife, Asebe Bashir, and his son, Abdulaziz Malami, facing trial over allegations of financial misconduct involving billions of naira. Let's again join Global Television's Ubong Usoro for details.
The proceedings took place at the Federal High Court in Abuja. A compliance officer with Union Bank of Nigeria told the court that multiple transactions were traced to the account of Mateb Hotels Limited. The witness revealed that millions of naira were transferred from the company's account to Malami and a firm identified as AA Malami & Co. at different times in 2024. He also identified Malami's wife as a sole signatory to the hotel's account based on documents presented before the court. Further testimony detailed several cash inflows into the account, including deposits running into tens of millions of naira from various sources between 2022 and 2023. Olumote Egoro, another prosecution witness, a compliance officer with Access Bank PLC, also presented documents related to accounts linked to Malami's son. The court heard that a loan facility of 400 million naira was granted to one of the companies linked to Malami's son and later fully repaired. The witness also outlined multiple inflows into accounts connected to organizations allegedly linked to the family, though he admitted he could not determine the purpose of the transactions. Counsel to the defense did not object to the admissibility of most of the documents, but reserved the right to address the issue at the final stage of trial. After hearing from the witnesses and admitting several documents as evidence, the presiding judge, Joyce Abdulmalik, adjourned the case to April 20, 2026 for continuation of trial. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News.
The federal government says ongoing reforms under the administration of President Bola Tinubu are aimed at strengthening national development and repositioning Nigeria for sustainable growth. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, made this known at the inauguration of the Media and Publicity Subcommittee for the 2026 APC National Convention in Abuja. Sadia Yakubu has details.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says the upcoming National Convention of the All Progressives Congress represents a major milestone in the life of the ruling party. Speaking during the inauguration of the Media and Publicity Subcommittee for the 2026 APC National Convention in Abuja, the minister noted that the convention will further strengthen internal democracy within the party and consolidate its vision for a united, progressive, and prosperous Nigeria. The minister described the task assigned to the committee as strategic, stressing that effective communication will play a crucial role in the success of the convention.
We are all members of the APC, and whatever we do is designed to ensure the success of the convention that is coming up in a few days from now. So I want to urge members of the committee to please work diligently, work to ensure there's a hitch-free and a successful convention when it comes up.
Idris added that the committee's role goes beyond publicity, as it also involves ensuring accurate dissemination of information, coordinating media engagement, promoting transparency, and projecting the activities and outcomes of the convention to Nigerians and the international community. He urged members of the committee to approach the assignment with professionalism, creativity, and a strong sense of responsibility while leveraging various media platforms to ensure wide and positive coverage of the event.
As you all know, the Media and Publicity Committee is an important component of the convention. Indeed, the success or otherwise of the convention lies heavily on how prepared and how much we work towards making sure that this has happened. So I want to thank all of you for coming. I know that many people have traveled. The chairman of the committee himself has asked me to continue with the processes. He is actually away in Saudi Arabia. His Excellency Maimala Boni, the governor of Yobe State.
The inauguration of the Media and Publicity Subcommittee is expected to strengthen strategic communication ahead of the 2026 APC National Convention, as the party intensifies preparations for what leaders described as a defining moment in consolidating unity and advancing its political vision. Sadia Yakubu for Global Television News.
Thank you so very much, Sadia. Let's turn to other stories now. The National Working Committee of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, has reaffirmed its commitment to the existing zoning arrangements for the positions of the party's highest in administrative organ of the party ahead of the forthcoming national convention. In the statement issued in Abuja, APC confirmed that the power-sharing formula used to distribute officers across the 6 geopolitical zones remains valid and applicable for the upcoming gathering. APC's National Publicity Secretary, Phyllis Morka, said the move is to prevent internal friction ahead of its elective convention and to maintain status quo of the party's high command aimed at ensuring geographic balance and party stability. Independent Hajj Reporters, a faith-based civil society organization, has advised the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria to establish a special Hajj calendar harmonization committee and commence early registration for the 2027 Hajj. The group made the call in a statement signed by its national coordinator, Ibrahim Muhammad, and made available to journalists. Muhammad stated that recurring operational challenges in the country's Hajj preparations are largely due to late pilgrim registration and delays in implementing pre-Hajj timelines. This is Global Television and you're watching News Cycle. The rest of the news continues after this weather forecast, plus business, foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break for you. Please do stay with us.
Hello and welcome to the weather forecast. Rain-bearing clouds are expected across the southern region of the country come Tuesday. Areas likely to experience morning rains includes parts of Cross River, Akwa Ibom and Taraba states. Progressing into the afternoon and evening hours of Tuesday, the southern region of the country will experience thunderstorms. These thunderstorms will likely intensify and expand to include parts of the north central, talking about parts of Kwara, Kogi, the Federal Capital Territory, Benue, Plateau, and Taraba states. If you're in this region, please keep an umbrella handy. The northern states will remain mostly sunny with high temperatures. If you're in the north, drink lots of water and avoid prolonged exposure in sunlight. That's the forecast for Tuesday. I am Theodora Itzum. Thank you for watching.
Appreciate you staying with us here on News Cycle. The second part of this broadcast now returns with business. President Bola Tinubu has promised to review tariffs imposed on newsprint, broadcast equipment, and other materials used by media organizations as part of efforts to ease their financial burden on the Nigerian media industry. The president made their commitments while receiving a delegation of the Nigerian Press Organization led by its president, Maiden Alex Ibru. Tinubu promised support to the Nigerian media to challenge what they described as big tech dominance and anti-competitive activities in the media space. The Senate has cleared former lawmaker representing Rivers Southeast Senatorial District Magnus Abe for appointment as chairman of the board of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC. Magnus Abe, a political ally of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, was screened by the Senate Committee on Petroleum Resources Upstream before receiving the approval of lawmakers. Our National Assembly correspondent, Anieti Patrick, completes the report.
The committee, chaired by Senator Eteng Williams, who represents Cross River Central Senatorial District, screened nominees forwarded by the President Bola Tinubu for appointment as chairman and non-executive commissioners of the commission. In line with the Senate's tradition for former lawmakers appearing for confirmation, Abe was asked to take a bow and go, having served 2 terms in the National Assembly.
They are industry players, the 3 of them. We've not seen anybody that has not worked even in NUPRC, then DPR. So they have good knowledge. For us, they are regulators. They are going to regulate us well in the industry. I feel so, if confirmed, because you will hear from us, the Senate, in our next meeting. I won't give verdict here because...
Speaking with journalists after his appearance before the committee, Senator Magnus Abe said the surge in global oil prices triggered by tensions involving Iran and the United States presents both challenges and opportunities for Nigeria. According to him, while the conflict has pushed up the cost of fuel and created hardship for Nigerians, the increase in oil prices could also translate into higher national revenues. Abe called for global prayers for an end to the conflict, noting that beyond the economic implications, the crisis was claiming human lives.
This is a very, very difficult time for the entire planet. It's not a Nigerian challenge, it's a global challenge. And I believe that Nigeria is in a far better position to ride out this storm than a lot of other countries. Because you must look at the balancing act. Prices will definitely be affected, but revenues from our oil sales will also be positively affected. So I believe that there will be some measure of balance in what will happen.
The 2023 governorship candidate of the Social Democratic Party, however, urged Nigerians to see the situation as an opportunity to strengthen the country's energy sector, particularly in gas development and marginal oil field investments. From the National Assembly, Anieti Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
Many thanks to you, Anieti. Nigeria's food inflation rose to 12.12% year-on-year in February 2026, reversing the single-digit level recorded in January and signaling renewed pressure on household food costs. Data from the Consumer Price Index report released by the National Bureau of Statistics showed that the indicator increased from 8.89% in January 2026 to 12.12% in February, representing a rise of 3.23 percentage points. The February figure pushed food inflation back into double-digit territory after January's sharp showdown, which had marked the first single-digit reading in more than a decade. Let's move things up to the foreign scene now. The federal government says it is working out administrative procedures and releasing funds to evacuate Nigerians affected by the ongoing crisis in parts of the Middle East. The decision comes amid escalating tensions in the region, triggered by missile and drone attacks linked to Iran, which have raised security concerns across several Gulf nations. Spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Chimevi Ebiemfa, says arrangements for evacuating those who may be trapped are ongoing. Now time for some excitement from the world of sports. Democratic Republic of Congo national football team coach Sebastien Desbarre says his squad is fired up for their upcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup Intercontinental Playoff, noting that the minimum target will be to replicate the performance they delivered against Nigeria football team during the African playoff final. The Congolese are heading to Guadalajara and Monterrey in Mexico, where they will join 5 other countries wying for the final 2 places at the expanded World Cup, which will be held in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. The Leopards, who beat Nigeria 4-3 on penalties in the African playoff final, have been drawn to face the winner of the clash between Jamaica national football team and New Caledonia national football team, with a place at the 2026 tournament at stake. Iran's Football Federation says it is negotiating with FIFA to relocate the country's first-round World Cup matches from the United States to Mexico due to the conflicts in the Middle East. Iran's participation at these summer's finals in the United States, Canada, and Mexico has been thrown into doubt since the war began late last month. The country says it's scheduled to face New Zealand and Belgium in Los Angeles, followed by Egypt in Seattle. And that's a full cycle on the news. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times on channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using a Global TV NG, as well as other handles as you now see on your screen. I'm Wiyag Mofwegwe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on News Prime.